with you. When the silence isn't quiet and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, and I know you feel like dying, but I promise we would take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again.
Hi, I'm RISE Anyabwelé, a middle school student at RISE Anyabwelé Academy, and I'm an Imani genius. Thank you, God, for another day to be excellent. I'll be kind and brilliant, focused, disciplined, and ready. I'll be honest and faithful, a bold and courageous leader. For you have unchained me, my ancestors have sacrificed for me, so I am free to be my best self. Ashe.
Ashe.
Hi, I'm RISE Anyabwelé, a second grade at RISE Anyabwelé Academy, and I'm
Who are we?
We are strong African children. We shall become strong African men and women, and we shall always be a credit to our people. Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe, hello, hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much, Amina and Amiri, for sharing with us the libations and affirmation for RISE Anyabwelé Academy. Welcome to all of our RISE families. Go ahead and turn your camera on. If this is your first RISE event, you are in for a treat. We are very communal. We are very familial. We like to see faces. We like to engage. We like to interact. You are welcome to sit there and be silent and observe, but we want to see you and connect with you because this is our community and you are now a part of it. Thank you so much for joining us this evening for the 2021 second annual, hello, that means 2 years in a row, second annual, yes, thank you, Mama Juanita, second annual RISE Open House. That means we all survived COVID. We all survived a year of virtual schooling, some of us homeschooling for the first time ever. Please give yourselves a pat on the back for that. I applaud all of you. We did that and we're about to do it again. So thank you so much. I am Talitha Anyabwelé, the founding director of RISE Anyabwelé Academies. And I am so thankful to be able to share with you what RISE has to offer and talk about how we can support you and your family and your Imani geniuses. You just witnessed my two Imani geniuses. That was my son and daughter, Amina, who is now a rising 6th grade student, and Amiri, who is a rising 2nd grade student. Here, they have been homeschooled pretty much since birth. They've had very few experiences outside of homeschool environment. So this in particular was not new to them, but being able to share it with our community was, and that was powerful and amazing. So this was a completely new experience for them as well in that regard. And I'm so thankful for all of our families. I am going to be very considerate of time, but I also want to make sure that I cover everything that you need covered and that I answer all of your questions. So at any moment, if you have a question, put it in the chat, I'll answer it, or feel free to come onto the screen and ask it directly. Your voice is welcome here. I see a couple of chat messages coming in now. Okay, so if you have any questions as I'm going through the presentation, please pause me and ask it, or ask it directly in the chat. We started with what is called libations. If you are not familiar with libations, it simply means a prayer. We are not a religious community, but we are a spiritual community because we recognize as African people that we are connected to a creator. We are reflections of a higher creator. We recognize that throughout the one thread that puts us all together, regardless of religious practice, is that we all recognize we are reflections of something greater than ourselves. And it is our belief in that and our understanding in that that gives us faith and drives us to push forward, just as our ancestors did before us. So Amina led us in libations. We are very big on making sure that our students think and speak what they want to manifest and create in their lives. And so we always have affirmations that affirm them in their identity and affirm their power and ability. I'm obviously welcoming you, and we are going to go over what RISE Academy is. You're going to get a chance to meet some of our teachers, and then of course I'll answer some questions that you may have and any closing remarks. The gift of right now. So I know it doesn't feel like it, but it really is a gift to be able to educate your own children. I know that can be stressful, it can be daunting, it can feel overwhelming, you can feel unprepared, but that's why we are here. That is why we have this community, so that we can relieve some of that stress from your shoulders and recognize the opportunity that we have right now. You have the power to say no to not studying critical race theory, especially people telling you that when they don't even understand what that is. You have the power to say no to people saying that they will not protect your children by not enforcing a mask mandate. You have the power to say no to people who look at your children and see them as threats before they understand their genius and brilliance. You have the power to say no to what doesn't fit for your family. And together, we can actually say no to those things and say yes to the optimal education that we want for our children. We have the option of exploring new alternatives and offering supplemental or full-time support for you in whatever way that you need. You have the opportunity to teach your children in the way that they learn. It is not one size fit all. How many of you have witnessed your children come home despondent or discouraged or unhappy because of the classroom setting, because they were one in a number and because their needs were not met individually? We've all experienced that ourselves at some point if we went in traditional school, and it's not something we need to pass on to our children. So we have the power to say no to those things. We also have the power, for those of you who are entrepreneurial, to start your own RISE micro school. For those of you who still want to meet in small groups in person, there are opportunities to actually establish your own RISE micro school where we will lead and guide you through that process as well. So we have the power here, regardless of whatever else is going on in the world, as a community, to say no to what we don't want and yes to ourselves. What is your why? Why are you doing this? So I'm sure you have people in your family or friends that really looked at you kind of sideways when you said you were considering homeschooling, or kind of said some slick comments or judgments and things like that that made you maybe doubt or question it yourself. So it's important that you understand why you are making this choice and you affirm yourself in that. I know for me, my why was a safer learning environment. And it wasn't just a matter of physical safety, but emotional and mental safety for my children. I did not want them to experience any of the anguish that I did being in environments where I was not affirmed. I wanted curated academic resources that met their needs. I wanted a curriculum that met them where they were and push them forward. I didn't want anything that said they had to learn this by this age, by this stage, in this way. I wanted it to fit their needs. And so we created that. I wanted to improve not just their academics, but their character, their integrity, their faith, their grit, their willingness to push through and persevere and encourage others to do the same. I wanted a reflection of them in the classroom every step of the way. I wanted them to see positive exposure to Mother Africa and them to understand that they are a part of a community in the African diaspora that is the global majority, despite what others tried to say. So I wanted them to know and feel that power. I also wanted community. I wanted to connect with other families where I did not have to explain those things that were important to me because they already shared those values. And I wanted autonomy and freedom in education. If any of these things resonate with you, you're in the right space. Let's talk about homeschooling as in general, because most people are concerned, well, I want to make sure that they're prepared for the real world, and I want to make sure that they're not behind in any way. That is my job. You can take that stress off. I am a 20-year educator. I have done this. I can now do this in my sleep. Literally, I am doing this in my sleep oftentimes because I never can turn it off. My job is making sure that they are global citizens and ready to face any space in the world. So the custom curriculum that we have written, which is Raising Imhotep, is always fluid and based on international standards, not just the US. So I'm constantly looking at what countries are performing the best in the world and why. My experience in Singapore helped me do that because I was able to see while being there that the children there, that is the #1 country for education in the world, were affirmed in their culture before anything else, before academics, before anything else. And I reflected back on where I had seen that before, and it was in West Africa. So I knew that's what we did too. We are a community that affirms, that teaches our children who they are so they can go out and master everything else. If you know you are a descendant of Imhotep, the world's first multi-genius, then what can't you do? And so that is the belief that we instill in them from day one. And what we have seen statistically is that, and this is cited from the National Home Education Research Institute, that in the course of a year, reading percentages increased by 42%, language increased by 26%, and math by 23%, just in 1 year of pivoting from traditional school settings to homeschool settings that affirmed your children. What is RISE Academy? Why RISE? Now, I'm not going to read all this to you. Those of you, when you register, you'll get a whole handbook that shares all of this, but names are very important to me. So I am very clear about making sure that the children know that this didn't just spin off out of nowhere. This was very intentional. So RISE stands for Raising Imhotep Scholastic Excellence. RISE itself becomes with RISE Anyabwelé. Anyabwelé means God has unchained me. That means we are free. There is nothing binding us without our permission. We are completely free to do and teach and elevate as we should. RISE Anyabwelé together sends the acronym RA, which is for the sun god. And we recognize that we are rising together. So it's multiple layers there. You see that? You see it? You see the multiple layers there. We are rising together, always affirming each other and ourselves in the fact that we are doing this together and breaking chains of oppression. The logo is a young Imhotep because I believe we all are genuinely raising geniuses. They are born geniuses. You don't have to do anything else. They are born geniuses. All we have to do is cultivate it and make sure we are nurturing it. Everyone's genius is different. So we make sure that we seek to understand what your child's genius is and cultivate that and not try to push anything else on them that is not authentically theirs. Let's see a couple questions in the chat. Okay, is there information for how to start a micro school on ramp for starting away? Yes, thank you. So that question, that's a separate seminar, but if you have that question, when we follow up after this workshop, I will send information out about that. So if you are interested in starting a micro school, that's a separate workshop that you can attend, and I'm excited to even know that you are. Thank you. What are our core values? So those of you who are familiar with the Nguzo Saba, you will recognize these principles. Those are our character traits. Those are the principles we use every week. Each week is devoted to focusing on one principle throughout the entire year. We don't wait until Kwanzaa, because by the time Kwanzaa comes, that is a time to celebrate how we have implemented and executed these principles all year long. So that shouldn't be the first time they're introduced. So each week we are focusing on Umoja, Kujichagulia, Ujima, Ujama, Nia, Kuumba, and Imani. And every 8 weeks, we are having a week called Show What You Know. And that's where the young geniuses show their mastery of their skill set, both in academics and character development. And that could look like a presentation, that could look like a project, that could look like an inter-school competition, that could look like one of them teaching a class. But every 8 weeks we do that so that we can understand what they have really mastered and know how we move forward. But each week we are looking at different ancestors and heroes in our community that reflect these principles so that they can see themselves in them and know that they too have the power to uphold the Nguzo Saba. What is the difference? Why RISE? Why not? You know, there are so many other homeschooling opportunities out there, so many online things that I've seen. why this program. We are unapologetically Blackity Black, Black, Black. There's no other way I can really put that. African-centered, meaning that that is the focus of everything we do. We make no excuses or apologies or try to, put it sugar-coated and layer it in something else. It is what it is. And we will educate anyone. We welcome any child. They will learn the same things. If truth be told, we have all been indoctrinated in a Eurocentric education. So I think it's high time that we flip that and be indoctrinated into an African-centered education. So that is one of the key differences that is here. It is very communal. It is very flexible. Grace and flexibility are part of the cornerstones of who we are. We recognize that we are always growing, shifting, moving. So if you have insight, expertise, something that you see that can make us better, we welcome you to share that. That's part of what community is. So when you come to RISE Anyabwelé Academy, you come with your whole self. We want you to share all of who you are culturally. We want you to share all of who you are in every aspect so that we can all gain from it, because it's indeed a community. Our students have driving questions, but so do our parents. So for the parents, our answers are a little bit different than for the students, but they're the same driving questions. We always ask, who are we? And you heard my son answer that question. He answered with an affirmation, but as he grows and matriculates, he will learn to answer that question for himself. For us, we are learning who we are and how to effectively communicate, articulate ourselves to the world, to make sure the world knows and sees who we are and we show up as our whole selves. In order to do that, we must know our history. We must know from whom we come. We must know how we arrived in this space and how to apply that knowledge to giving a remedy to our current circumstances. We also must know our purpose. Why are we here? What is our purpose in this space? What gifts do we have to offer to aid in the solution of the dilemmas that we face as a people? We are constantly asking that question and using design thinking to unravel how we can tackle some of these problems. This past year was a tumultuous one. Our children witnessed the Black Lives Matter movement in a way that our predecessors might have witnessed the modern civil rights movement, the protests, the marching, ways that were just shocking. The images were shocking in the midst of a pandemic. Like our layered problems do not stop. And so we always ask them, what role can you play in this? How can we deal with this in a way that actually gives solutions to our problems? And we actually guide our children through that process. Our mission, what must we do? Now that we understand our purpose, we understand who we are, what must we do with that knowledge? How do we uplift ourselves? And so our children are taught from the beginning that they are a part of a community and that we always must be in pursuit of success in that community. And what that success looks like is different for all of us, but it always means that we are rising together. How will we do it? Taking responsibility for our actions, using our tools to empower ourselves and community. It always comes back, the focus always comes back to us as a whole. What are the differences in the programs? You could come to RISE as a full-time homeschooling student. That means I want my child to be homeschooled, but I don't know what I'm doing. So I need you to do it for me. I got you. We will take care of the entire curriculum. Full-time homeschooling students are enrolled. They participate in the learning style assessment, which is separately. That's where I assess how they learn. And it's not just a matter of understanding their learning style, but really understanding how to reach them as a person, how to reach them and understand what motivates them. What are their intrinsic abilities? What are the things that allow them to strive for something greater than what they're doing in the norm? We also do a full homeschool checklist and consultation. Part of my job is to make sure that I understand all of the homeschooling rules in every state, to make sure you are in compliance with everything that is needed for that. Because we don't want anyone to come in. We know how it happens. We don't want anyone to come in and shut us down. So I went to Florida A&M University. We are taught to have receipts. So we teach you to have those receipts and just make sure we check every box so that we can continue to operate in our freedom. We monitor their completion of tasks. We have live small group instruction or pre-recorded instruction, depending upon how you want to matriculate through the plan. And then it's a curated educational plan with resources that meet the needs of your child. We also do group parent and educator support and training, and of course, a whole plethora of resources and support for you throughout the year. Some of my friends call me Team Too Much. I own it. So we do a lot. We do a lot throughout the year to make sure that you feel supported, that you are surrounded by engagement that will allow your child and you and your family to flourish. Supplemental support. This is for the families that say, you know what, I am really, really good in math and science, so I can teach those, but language arts and those other subjects, I can't do that at all. I don't want to do that. And so you just want to supplement what you're doing at home, or you have all of the academics, you're in a traditional school setting, you're not able to homeschool fully, but you need something to supplement them culturally. You need something for them to be a part of that is community, similar to what we have. And so you want us to supplement their education. So for those opportunities, there are a la carte courses, virtual engagement, and different plans that you can use to supplement your child's education. What courses do we offer? Well, we have expanded. Last year, we did pre-K through 5th grade. And this year, we are going through middle school. Everybody, take a deep breath on that middle school. We know how middle school is. And I am so excited because my baby girl is in middle school this year. We had a graduating class this past year. And I am so excited to have 6th through 8th grade where we will delve into how they're growing and maturing. So we offer pre-K through 8th grade for the core courses. So if you are a full-time student, your full-time plan will include all 4 of the core courses. Now, across the country, every state requires a minimum of these core courses. So math, science, social studies, language arts. So we label them that title because that's in compliance with every state's homeschooling requirement. Most states outside of those core subjects are really not concerned with what else they learn, but we are. So outside of those core courses, there are elective options. If you are a homeschool student, you will have 2 options of electives that you can choose from. And here are just some of them: chorus, art, PE, 1 foreign language, 1 type of music. We have several, dance, and there are other courses that come up throughout the year. So you have the option of participating in 2 electives and all 4 of your core courses if you're full-time. If you are supplemental, you just choose a la carte, whatever you need, and we can supplement for that. Holiday calendar. So you know, we are, even though we're homeschooling, and honestly, whenever you're homeschooling, your child is always learning. When you're preparing dinner together, when you go to the park together, when you go to museums, that's actually a part of your education. But our virtual school calendar is as follows. We are beginning on September 7th, that's the day after Labor Day, and we end May 26th, but our graduation is June 10th. So our graduation end of the year program. So these are some of the breaks. We do recognize Indigenous Peoples Day, so we're off in November for that. We recognize the winter break. We have a spring break. We have Memorial Day, and there are a couple other holidays. We don't celebrate all of the holidays. So for example, there's no President's Day. On that day, we're actually learning of the truth about presidents and what they actually did. There's no reason to celebrate that. And then there are certain other days that we don't honor, but these are some of our major holidays. When you register, you'll get a calendar of all of these events so you can plan accordingly. But here's the freedom with homeschooling. Let's say you're in a state and you want to do your spring break at the same time that your district is. No problem. You can do that. All of the classes are recorded. If your spring break differs from ours, it simply means that you will see all of the recordings from the week that you decide to take off. Your child isn't missing anything. And then we'll meet them where they are when they return. So the beauty of homeschooling, and I cannot stress this enough, you are never behind. You are never behind. As long as you are steadily moving forward, you are always making progress. So remember, I told you I'm Team Too Much. These are just some of the events that happened last year that we will be continuing this year. We have a RISE Retreat Week, and this is given COVID is under close wraps and it's safe. We usually find a place to meet together in the world, but again, it's based on whether or not it is safe. So last year we only did it once because we wanted to make sure we protected the safety of our children. Hopefully we can eventually get to the point where we can actually go outside. But when that happens, we have RISE Retreat Week, which is so much fun. The kids get to actually meet in person. We have school together in person. It coincides with Show What You Know Week, so they get to show and showcase their knowledge and mastery of skills. It's a beautiful thing. We have our Kwanzaa program. We have our Black History program. which one of my geniuses said to me, he's like, we have Black History programs every month. Pretty much, yes, but we really go out in February. We have our career day, our science fair, poetry showcase, annual project presentation, and graduation. So these are just some of the events that we do, but we definitely keep them actively engaged and involved throughout the year. And there are opportunities for us to engage outside of just the academic. Each month has a theme. And so you'll see that some of the projects and even the things that we do in class will align with these themes. And so we follow throughout the calendar year. You'll have this in your handbook when you register. We have a theme for the year. The annual theme this year is Rise to Servant Leadership. So our entire focus all year will be, how do we enhance our community? How do we improve our community? How do we serve as a form of leadership? And we'll be guiding the Imani Geniuses in safe ways to do that and exemplify that throughout the year. And then, of course, we have our monthly themes throughout the year, and there will be different events that coincide with each of those. Our RISE Community Board. So this year, because we so need it, we will be establishing formally our RISE Community Board, which is another name for a PTA. We met often, we have RISE community meetings often, but we are formally establishing it. The goal is to actually establish it as a separate nonprofit, because there are many students and families that want to take advantage of this opportunity, but are just not able to. And I want to reach those students too. And we have a mission, and we actually have a responsibility to reach those too. And so our mission for the RISE Community Board is to support RISE Anyabwelé Academies. Notice that is plural, because we already have people who want to establish their own micro schools, but it is to fundraise, to support academic matriculation through scholarships. Last year, I was able to, thankfully, give personal scholarships and support some families that could come, but would not have been able to otherwise. But I want to formally do that on a much larger scale to reach more of our families that need to come. Cultural engagement, support holistic development through the execution of culturally engaging experiences. We are planning our first trip back to the continent. So the RISE Community Board will be planning that for next summer. We had some pretty heated debates about which country we would choose. I think Nigeria, Ghana, and
Senegal.
Was it Senegal?
Senegal, yes.
Senegal, we're in the running. So that's Mama Marjani, thank you. So I'm open to all of them. My goal is to visit every single country, on the continent before I leave this place. So I'm excited about all of them. But our RISE Community Board will be planning that, and hopefully again, COVID will be out of our conversation. We don't have to worry about that. And also lastly, to curate educational resources. That includes human and academic resources for the collective RISE community. So I would love to have companies sponsor computers for our children who are not able to afford them, or other supplies that they're not able to afford. So we want to establish this as a real entity where we can actually gain resources to help families. Okay, I saw a question. It will be made available tomorrow. Somebody asked about the recording. It will be made available tomorrow. So let's talk about the schedule. So this is one of the things, all of my parents who pre-registered, they have been, okay, what are we gonna do? What's the schedule? What's the schedule? Look at the bottom. I want you to scroll to the bottom first. Subject to change. Why is it subject to change? Because I'm constantly adding more classes. I want all of our children to have all the things. So if there are other people that come to me with new forms of expertise that they want to share, it's going to be added to the calendar. And you, of course, have the option of what you take advantage of, but we want them to have all the things. My job, though, is to make sure that they are at least exposed to their foundational core courses, and that they have those needs met, and then to make sure that they're well-rounded in the electives. This is the Akan tribe. Each of our students are placed in a tribe rather than grade levels. So the classes are blended. They're blended because they're blended because there's not one child on the planet that is at one grade level in every single subject. That just doesn't happen. So there are some times where you need to go to one tribe for language arts, maybe another tribe for science, a different tribe for math, because you have a myriad and range of levels of understanding in each of those subjects. So we respect that. This is the Akan pre-K kindergarten schedule. So someone asked about ages. The Akan tribe pre-K starts when they are able to be attentive and be engaged in the class. I don't put an age limit on that. My children were signing at 6 months. and communicating with me at 6 months. So I don't put an age limit on Genius. And it can go up until they have met all the things that they need to meet and have all the resources that they need from this tribe. So it starts when they are able to be attentive. It ends when they are able to move on to the next tribe. They've mastered all the content for that. We can ascertain their level during the first 2 weeks when we do observational assessments and the learning style assessment. So we determine where they are, and each teacher is empowered to do this, make these observational assessments to understand where they are in each individual subject so that we can determine where your child would best fit in terms of tribe. And we're not just determining it based on academics, but also how are they feeling when they're in class? Do they engage more in one tribe more than the other? Are they more comfortable? Are they more confident? So we're looking at all of those things when we make that determination together. Based on that. So you never, again, you're never behind in homeschool. So you don't have to worry about that. In terms of on record, your child will be in the grade level that they come in at. They will matriculate through that grade level throughout the year. But in terms of needs being met, we're going to meet them where they are. Okay, so we'll never hold back or push forward based on age. It will always be based on their level of understanding. I know you all don't need to copy this schedule down now. When you register, you'll see all of this again, and this will also be posted on the site as well. This is the Maasai first and second grade schedule. I am juggling right now 5 different time zones. There are 4 presented here, but within my teachers, between my teachers, parents, and students, I have about 5 different time zones. So you'll see these 4 represented here because I want to make sure everybody could see when their particular time would start. Maasai is first and second grade. Those ages usually range between about 6 to about 9, but it really just depends on the child's level of understanding, comfort, and confidence in the course. And so again, it's one of those things that we will determine. So some of the courses that we offer, you'll notice that the core courses are there, and then there's also chorus. We have chess this year, ASL, piano, all types of music classes. So this is a typical, if they were doing full-time, this kind of shows you their full-time schedule. If they were doing all the things, if they just wanted to do all the things. They do not have to do all the things. That is totally up to you. But this is what a full-time schedule could look like if you chose to do all of the electives that are currently available and the core courses. Bassa, the Bassa tribe is 3rd through 4th grade. Again, that's the average, range, but again, that's any child that meets those needs or has those needs met in these courses. You'll see the same typical 4 core courses and different electives that are available there. The school day, typically, I try to put it between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then there's some evening courses as well. But you have the ability to kind of choose and select the courses that you want to take and make your schedule your own to fit the needs of your family. And our seniors, the Yoruba and Ashanti, this is 5th through 8th. I am just so proud of these young geniuses already. I'm excited because I'm their ELA teacher, and they already know it's about to be very intense this year as we delve into more literature and not just the classics, but our classics and their classics and some comparative writing. I'm so excited about that. So we are excited to start them here. Also a kind of 9 to 3 schedule, and then some evening extracurricular classes as well. And you'll see that they have the option of Spanish or French. And then some of them may want to do both. That's an option as well. So you have multiple options of what they can do to meet the needs of their that they have. So now my favorite time, let's meet our teachers. We have a few, I wanna make sure let me stop sharing. I'm one, hello, I'm one. I am the language arts teacher, all things language arts, that's me. But I wanna see, I know Miss Avian is here, but we're going to show her videos. Is there anyone here, I'm just looking through the teachers here, that I don't have a video for? I think Miss Kathy, are you here? Walimu Kathy, are you here? Okay, let me bring you up. 1 second. Okay. Just go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh,
yes.
Hello. My name is Kathy Johnson. I have been interpreting for about 15 years. I am the ASL instructor. Let's see, what else? I have a degree, of course, in American Sign Language. I have been teaching at my church and private school for a minute now. I love the language, to be able to talk and actually talk in sign language, and people don't know what you're saying, so that's really cool. So basically, that's me in a nutshell, you know. I'm going to teach them from the foundation, the basic ABCs, 1, 2, 3, the common phrases, family, animals, et cetera, et cetera. Then we go into phrases, then we go into sentences, and then they're going to be signing to you all day long, and you're going to be, oh my goodness, what's going on? So you get a chance to actually learn it also with your kids as they learn. And there's a difference between signing and interpreting. So we get a chance to understand the language in its depth, that yes, you can know vocabulary, but you have to know the structure of the language, and it has its own syntax, it has its own grammar, it has its own, all of that good stuff. Without facial expression, it's not the language at all. So you get a chance to do that. So your kids can get a chance to learn that. And the list goes on and on. So I'm excited.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Walimu Kathy. Thank you so much. So I'm so excited about ASL coming back because that was actually my children's first language. So before they were saying, Mom, they actually said Dad at first. You know how they do. You know how they do. But before they were saying words, they were using sign language to communicate. And even through them being toddlers and young children, they would sign to me from across the room if they were uncomfortable or something was wrong or they needed something and didn't feel comfortable articulating with words, they would sign. And so I missed that because I think we've lost that a bit because we're out of practice. So I'm glad to get that back. And I'm hoping some of the muscle memory comes back too. So thank you, Walimu Kathy, for that. We have Walimu Jakayla, who is here. Bring her.
Hi everyone, I'm Jakayla Scaife. I'm the new ELA and ELA and history teacher, mainly for Yoruba and Ashanti, but also Maasai and Bassa. I hold a history degree from Florida A&M University. I'm also a poet, an author, and a spoken word artist. I'm very excited to meet the young scholars. My first time teaching this many students online, so it'll be an interesting ride, but I feel very confident in my ability with the training that I received and also the beautiful network of teachers and people of color who are interested in continuing the legacy of our ancestors in terms of ensuring our students are prepared for the world what they got to step into. And so it's really encouraging to me to see like-minded people who are on the similar path of elevation and advancement of our people. So that's really encouraging. And I hope to instill that same spirit in each one of my students and my classes. So excited to meet all of you. I might be the youngest teacher here. I'm not gonna tell my age, but I might be the youngest teacher here. But I trust that I will be able to provide them with the experience that I've had teaching my own course and also in public school, but also alternative schooling as well. So thank you all for having me. Thank you, Talitha, for giving me this opportunity to be here and show what I know.
Thank you, Jakayla. Now, I don't know. I mean, that was a kind of a strong assumption. I mean, how do you know you're the youngest? You know, I mean, how do you know? How do you know? You know, you don't know. You know, I'm just saying you don't know. But thank you, Jakayla. She reminds me a lot. I remember when I started, I was about 22 when I began teaching at Sakara Youth Institute. I see some of my Sakara family are here. Those of you who went to FAMU, you know the Denards, who started Sakara Youth Institute in Tallahassee. That was my foundation in education. And I'm so thankful to have you, Jakayla, because it reminds me of the beginning of my journey. And you just come with the zeal and vigor to do it. So it's going to be a great year. I'm excited about that. And I'm going to now show some of our teachers, like I said, are in multiple time zones. And so we're not able to make it here physically tonight because it's either really, really late or really, really early, wherever they are. And so I want to share their recordings as well.
Hello, RISE families. Welcome to the Akan Tribe. My name is Walimu Avian Wise. In the Akan Tribe, we're building the foundation, focusing on reading and math. In our reading class, we're developing language skills, using books to understand the concept of print, learn the parts of a book and the parts of a story. We're developing letter knowledge, naming and identifying upper and lowercase letters and knowing each letter's sound. And we're working on phonological awareness. In our math class, we're counting from 1 to 100. We're also identifying numbers 1 through 100 and beginning to write numbers 1 through 100. We're comparing numbers, understanding the concept of more and less. We're doing beginning addition and subtraction. We're problem solving and developing those critical thinking skills, learning how to reason. We're also learning about community, how to work together. We're building community, learning about our heritage, our ancestors, where we came from, so we can understand who we are. We're doing that and so much more. And every now and then, we get a little extra. But it's okay because we're embracing who we are. We're giving your children the skills that they need, not only to be successful in our tribe, but to be successful in life. Learning how to use their voice to be an advocate, to express themselves, and to make an impact. I can't wait to partner with you, support you, and be a part of your village to cultivate the genius in your child. I look forward to meeting with you and working with you soon. Until then, au revoir.
Hi everyone, I am Colette Mackenzie Thorney, a science specialist. I have a rich teaching background. I have been teaching for the past 7 years. I specialize in chemistry, biology, and elements of physics. In my classroom, I provide students with an open and safe environment where they can come with their questions, their ideas. In my classroom, I will build your child's curiosity and their confidence in science as we learn through music, scientific presentations, animation, songs, and don't forget those lovely experiments. My lessons are engaging. I have a unique way of making difficult scientific concepts quite easy. As an educator, it is my role and responsibility to challenge you and to build your confidence as we learn together. Won't you join my science lesson? So come together as we learn fun and exciting things about science so together we can rise. Bye.
Hi there, Imani Geniuses. My name is Takenya Battle, and I look forward to helping you rise through music.
Ekaleo RISE family, that means good evening in Yoruba. My name is Walimu Iya Ifanike, and I am so excited to have the opportunity to teach your young, brilliant minds. So, who am I? I am a mother of 3. I am a dancer, choreographer. I am in love with the arts. I'm an arts enthusiast. And I come to you with over 20 years of experience in teaching. I come to you also with over 10 years of arts integrated curriculum instruction. So, what does that mean? That means in my math class, we are singing, we are dancing, we are rapping, we are doing all sorts of things to make sure our young, brilliant minds get the best opportunity to learn the information they need to learn. I am so excited to be here. I'm excited to join the RISE family, and I hope that you're able to embrace me the same way that I would definitely embrace all of you all. I love to teach. I have a passion for teaching, but specifically, I love to teach our young, brilliant African babies. So I invite you to come join my class, to come sit in my class as we awaken the natural math genius in the African child.
Hola, Imani Geniuses. My name is Fernanda, and I am going to be your new Spanish teacher. I am 20 years old, and I come originally from Mexico, more specifically, the central part of Mexico known as Pachuca Hidalgo. I am also part of the indigenous community known as Otomi or Ñañú. And a little bit about myself is that I've been living abroad since I am 15 years old, moving between Mexico to Canada to Bosnia and Herzegovina and now the United States. In fact, I am an undergrad student at the University of Oklahoma, doing a double major in international business and accounting and a double minor in German and marketing. A little bit about my background is that I've been teaching Spanish for 4 years now. Everything started when I moved to Bosnia and Herzegovina, and I was lucky enough to share a classroom with people from over 70 countries. There, I found a passion to teach people my language, but also my culture. Something that I'm looking forward to this academic year is to further your current level of Spanish, but also to introduce you guys to the history of my country, my culture, and the values and ethics that we hold in my community. I am looking forward to meet you, teach you, but also to learn from you.
Hello, my name is Dr. Bridget Yancey, and I am the music instructor for RISE Anyabwelé Academy. I will be offering classes on violin, viola, cello, string bass, guitar, piano, and also voice and chorus. I hope that you will sign up today for music lessons, and I look forward to teaching you this school year.
Hello everyone, my name is Yannick and I'm from Cameroon. I have a bachelor's degree in law and a master's degree in international trade and investment law in Africa with high honors. And I'm certified to teach French and English to speakers of other languages. So if you would like to learn grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, fluency, which is to be able to speak a language rapidly and confidently, I would love to be your teacher. I've been teaching English and French in several bilingual high schools and online with years of experience. And my students have benefited from my kind and warm approach to teaching, which consists of complete evaluation, homework, and positive feedback. So with this step-by-step program-based approach that I offer, you can learn French. So if you would like to have a grasp and a mastery of the French language, I am what you need. I hereby invite you all to book a test lesson with me, and I'll be very happy to help you attain your French language learning goals. I equally offer a legal and business French course where you will learn how to communicate confidently with your French-speaking colleagues and clients and learn technical vocabulary and industry-specific lexis unique to your sector. On a more personal note now, I'm very passionate about chess. I love playing chess. I'm actually a semi-professional chess player. I love football, and I love music and traveling. I'll be happy to share my experience as a Cameroonian and as an African in general with you. So permit me now to end by saying a word in French to all my French-speaking students. Alors, comme je l'ai dit tantôt en anglais, je m'appelle Yannick, je suis camerounais, titulaire d'une licence en droit et d'un master en droit des affaires et du commerce international, et également tuteur communautaire de langue anglaise et de français que j'enseigne d'ailleurs à de nombreux apprenants au quotidien. Alors je serai très ravi de vous aider à atteindre vos objectifs d'apprentissage de ces deux langues-là. Venez donc massivement réserver des leçons d'essai avec moi pour qu'ensemble nous commencions votre apprentissage. Merci beaucoup et à bientôt.
Listen, I'm so excited about the fact that I found these teachers all over the world, but these international teachers, let me tell you, and we got our first brother. Come on now. We got our first brother here. I don't know what he was saying at the end, but it sounded fantastic. It sounded fantastic. And I love the fact that my children will be brighter than me and know languages that I don't know and teach me. That's what I love about this experience, that every generation should be better than the one before it. And we are ensuring that that will happen. That is our primary goal. So thank you so much to all of our teachers, all of our walimus. Walimu is Swahili for teacher. So they are amazing, excellent. The process of training has been pretty intense. So I'm thankful for all of them and putting in that work and effort even before school has started to get ready for you all. It has been just an amazing journey with each of them. So I'm so thankful for all of our walimus. And of course, as we grow, we'll be adding more. And if you have other people that they would be great to teach, I don't know, badminton, I don't know, whatever it is. We want our children exposed to everything because this brother's gonna be teaching chess, French. We have a sister teaching, and the sister Carla in Colombia teaches French and Spanish. So we have, it's just amazing. So I'm excited about all of these teachers coming in, sharing their brilliance with our babies. And we wanna do everything we can to make sure that they are supported and have everything they need. So yes, that's right, Brooke, we're having global education. That is the whole point. We want our children to be global citizens, to be able to walk into any space with the confidence of knowing that they belong there because our people created these spaces. So we don't ever want them to feel intimidated by anything. We want them prepared and armed for every space. So I am so thankful for all of our teachers. Thank you, Walimus, for that. So when does school start? School starts September 7th. We have a few more weeks. September 7th, we are getting it rolling. I put 8:45 because I know culturally, we often come a little bit later than the normal start time. So tell yourself 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you'll be there by 9 a.m. You know, if you're the type of person that's always punctual, you don't have to worry about that. But we know that there are some cultural things. I actually learned this at this seminar years ago. This amazing Sister Nzinga was talking about how it actually is, we say CP time, but it actually is a cultural thing that she was somewhere, I want to say Ghana. Do you remember which country? But she was saying that they were asking when the party started. There was a party that was supposed to happen. And she was saying, well, when is the party going to start? And all the elders were kind of just dismissing her, like, who asked this kind of question? What do you mean, when is the party going to start? When is the party going to start? When is the party going to start? When we get there. That was the answer. And so it is actually cultural. And so I want to say that, we will start at 8:45, around 9 a.m. September 7th. So please come. All of the information for those of you who have pre-registered, you have first priority for all of the courses. So you already have the links. Before I release it to the site for everybody else to open it to the general public, you all have it until Monday. So I will not put the links for getting the rest of the courses on the website until Monday. But between now and Monday, if you have pre-registered already, you already have access to those courses. If you are here tonight, you will also have access to those courses. So you already will have access to go ahead and select your courses first because they are small classroom. We cap at 8. We actually like 4 to 6. We cap the absolute max per class is 8 because we want individualized attention. We want to make sure that we meet every single child where they are. We want the chance to be able to connect with each and every one of them and to also support each and every one of you. So we make sure that we have very small classrooms for that reason. It's about to happen. We're about to do it again. And this time you do it and you know what's happening because you've already experienced it last year. So we're about to do it. Your world, yes, will be turned upside down. Please give yourselves grace and flexibility. Lean on your community, your family now. You are a part of us. Lean on us when you need that support. You are about to be turned upside down, but you will absolutely love seeing how your children blossom and grow. If you haven't seen the RISE testimonial video, please take a look at it. You can see some of our families from last year talk about their experiences with RISE and to share how they were impacted and how their children were impacted. We love our babies. They are, I see, hi, Alia. We love our babies. You are a part of our family. We are connected. And so I always want what is absolutely best for your family. So welcome and join us. You're about to be turned upside down. The next step, starting Monday, is to go to the site, raisingemhotep.com, bookmark it, enroll and sign up for the courses that you want. Have faith and just do it. Just enjoy the ride because it is going to be an amazing ride as we rise together. Thank you all so much for coming tonight. I want to look and see if there are any closing remarks or questions. Whenever there are elders here, I always open the floor for them. So Mama Juanita, if you have something you want to share, please feel free to share. We always open the floor. If there are any other elders that if your camera isn't on, please come on if you want to share and pour into. We always welcome that. Or if any parent wants to come on and share anything, now is the time.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you. So if there are any questions, comments, you can put them in the chat or you can ask them aloud. If not, thank you so much for joining us. I was trying to keep it within an hour to respect your time because I know we're in that bedtime phase and all of those. I know bedtime routines get serious. So thank you so much for joining me this evening. I hope to see all of you in our RISE community this year as we grow and expand. If there's any way we can support you, we will do that. And let us know if there's anything that we can do in terms of questions. I'm looking now to make sure I answered everything as I spoke. Okay. Thank you all. Have a great evening, everyone. Let's continue to rise together.